Welcome to my YouTube channel, guys. We're going to be making the tulip skirt in front of my long skirt, the tulip skirt design. So let's get started. So we're going to be using a full skirt long pattern, a long skirt pattern, okay? So from the long skirt pattern, I'm going to make out a short skirt pattern for the tulip design in front, right? So I'm going to keep the long skirt pattern, which we're going to use to cut the other side of the skirt. But for the tulip skirt, I have a short skirt pattern, but this short skirt pattern is going to be fully opened, right? So it's not the usual half pattern that we have. We're going to have full opened up skirt pattern but short in length. So once this is what we have, I'm going to identify the center front of the skirt. Do well to identify and mark the center front of the skirt, okay, for clarity purpose. And then once you have the center front of the skirt, we're going to move out from the center front to how much we want the skirt to overlap at the waistline. I'm going to be using 4 inches, right? You can as well do it to the end of the skirt side. It's still okay. Now at the lower part, I'm going to go in by 2 inches. That is according to the design that I have in mind, right? So we're going to use your cuff to connect. You can actually use your free hand to do this, but to get a better cuff, I'm going to use my cuff to connect, to draw out the line. Remember, 4 inches extra at the waistline and then 2 inches inwards at the lower part. Now we're using one part of this pattern, which is the part I placed my hand. That is the part that will be useful to us. And this other side, we're going to cut it out and throw it away because it's not going to be useful to us. Okay, so I'm just making sure I have a good line there. Now once that is done, I'm going to take hold of my scissors and cut it out. Remember, one side will be useful, the part that I have my hand placed on, while the other side is going to be discarded for any other purpose. So I'll keep that aside. Now I'm going to make double of this. You can actually use it this way and cut on your fabric into two. Please identify the center front. But for clarity purpose, I'm just going to make double of it using the paper. Right? I know this is a waste of paper, but never mind. So long as you understand what we're doing, it's just fine. So now we're going to put together center front to center front, center front to center front. Okay, match it up, match it up, and this is what we have. Now from the center front, you can also decide to measure the extra that you added for it to overlap. Remember, it is 4 inches. Okay, and like I said before, you can actually start from the edge of your paper or from the side of the paper, depending on how you want it to overlap. I hope this is making sense to you. You can see that, and if actually it is making sense to you, please kindly subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. So this is the front of the skirt, the long skirt, which I use a lace material. Underneath is um, the other satin that I use to underlay it, and then the back side is Ankara fabric. Okay, this is just a design. You can actually decide to come up with anything that you want to do. So I've actually cut the back and the center front or the front skirt, and then we're going to use same akara to cut the tulip skirt design in front of the skirt. So here is the main skirt opened up, and this is the tulip skirt design which I have cut. Now you're going to cut two of each of the overlap, right? So that one will be the lining and one will be the main fabric. Of course, it will not be nice if you just cut only one or use lining to cut it. It might not be looking very good. All right. So I'm going to stitch the sides, um, the overlap, the parts that will be overlapping. I'm going to sew it and finish it up very well. The only part that will not be stitched is the side of the skirt. As you can see, the overlapping area is well stitched and turned, and then the side I'll place on the skirt and match it up. Okay, so all that is left is for you to sew your skirt as usual. As usual, you're going to sew your skirt top stitch on the on the waistline and the sides. The other part is well turned out, and that is what we have. We continue to the sewing of the skirt and the gown in general. I hope this was helpful. This is what I came up with. So beautiful, and I love it. I hope you love it too. See you in my next tutorial. Thank you.